So I'm a backyard astronomer. I'm not a stargazer. Backyard astronomy and stargazing are different. Stargazing is staring at the night sky with the naked eye, okay? But for backyard astronomy, you're staring at the night sky with binoculars or a telescope. So backyard astronomy isn't something of the layman that does. Backyard astronomy is important. Without backyard astronomers, we would be forever cut off to most of the things that happen within our solar system. Most astronomers, they focus on the outside of the solar system. Backyard astronomers are the ones monitoring our solar system. Because astronomers, I think that they're out of touch. Because why think about all that stuff when we haven't even stepped foot on the moon after so many years of after going there? No human has ever stepped foot on another planet, let alone stepped foot on a planet of another solar system. Why are astronomers focused on things that won't happen until the far future, when they could instead be focusing on how to make sure that we can step on Mars safely? One day, people are going to be walking on Mars. One day, people will be walking around in man-made structures orbiting Jupiter. One day, people will be living in space stations in orbit around Neptune. One day, we will go outside of the solar system. But we have to start off with the solar system because this is the closest by. Backyard astronomers are very important. They allow us to go further and beyond in our solar system. It is said that astronomy is a humbling experience. And it is. It's very humbling. Looking up at the night sky closely, looking at Mars through a telescope, it makes you think. One day there will be people living on there. One day there will be children going to school there. One day they're going to set up observatories. One day they're going to buy telescopes and use telescopes on Mars. What would Earth look like to a kid who lives on Mars looking through a telescope? What would Earth look like? You know what it would look like? It would look like a blue dot. If you have a good enough resolution and magnification on the telescope, maybe you'd be able to make up blotches of green. Maybe a little bit of white on the polar caps. Looking at Jupiter through a telescope makes you think. When people live on stations orbiting Jupiter, then they look at Earth through a telescope, what would they see? They wouldn't be able to see Earth with the naked eye. They wouldn't be able to point their telescope at Earth because they can't see Earth with their eyeballs. The only way for them to see it is if they were able to look in ultraviolet or infrared or gamma ray or microwave light or radio light. Definitely lots of radio signals from Earth. But they can't. So they'll never be able to see Earth. What about orbiting Neptune? From Earth, you look at the night sky, if you have good enough eyes, like good enough eyes that you can separate Mizar and Alcor from each other, good enough eyes to see 7 stars in the Pleiades star cluster, then you might be able to see a little faint greenish blue dot in the night sky. If you check it, it might be Uranus. You cannot see Neptune. If anybody living on, or around Neptune try to find Earth with their telescope, sorry, that's impossible. You just can't. Too far away. Too small. Already from Jupiter, you can't see it with the naked eye. One day, people will look up at the night sky. They will see a whole different set of stars. The planets will be different. The galaxies will be different. There will be one faint star right there. And around that sun, there was a bluish-green planet that humans originated on. And humans spread from a speck going around that point of light to this place, a different solar system. And even further, one day, people will look up in the night sky through a telescope to look at a galaxy. Very far away galaxy, but a very important galaxy. They look through their telescope and they see that galaxy. It's called the Milky Way. And one of those stars in that spiral, one of the faintest stars in that spiral, is the place where humans originated. In that little spiral. You can't see the spiral shape with your naked eye. It would look like a dim spot star. And we will go further than that. Until the universe ends, we will keep on exploring, letting our curiosity wander. Right now is a very special time because we live on the verge of a revolution. We are starting to take our first tiptoes into the cosmic ocean. And right now, some of the most important people who are helping push this revolution. Now, I'm not saying that nobody else is important. Yes, astronauts, very important. Engineers, very important. Entrepreneurs, very important. Astronomers, very important. But one of the most important things, probably in the top 3 most important people for this new revolution would be backyard astronomers, amateur astronomers. So if that doesn't motivate you to go pick up a telescope and look at the night sky again, or just look at the night sky in general, think about the future, think about all of time and space, then nothing will. The universe is so big, you cannot comprehend it. Even the stars that you see, the night sky, are the stars of one small sector of space. One small sector in this galaxy, which in itself is just one galaxy in a galaxy cluster. Which in itself is just a cluster of clusters. Which in itself is just a cluster of clusters of clusters. Which makes up the observable universe. Too big for any humans to comprehend all at once. But anybody, even a person who doesn't like to do much except for lay in bed and watch videos and maybe occasionally walk outside and go look up, even they, you, anybody can help to increase our understanding. Even if it's just a small margin, it would still help for the future of all mankind.